Thousands of people remember the exact same thing, the same detail, the same event, but all of them are wrong, all in the exact same way. Scientists have a name for it now, but nobody expected what causes it. In 2009, a woman named Fiona Broom was talking with a group of strangers at a conference, and the conversation turned to a memory they all seemed to share. They remembered a famous political prisoner dying in jail back in the 1980s. The news coverage, his widow speaking at the funeral. Every one of them was certain, and every one of them was wrong. That man was very much alive, and he would go on to become the president of his country years later and live for decades after that. Broom gave this shared false memory a name, and once people heard about it, they started noticing it everywhere. A children's book character with a monocle he never actually wore. A movie line quoted the exact same wrong way by millions of people. A country's shape on a map that people insist used to look different. None of it actually ever happened the way people remembered it. But the strangest of things isn't really about any single wrong detail. It's about how many separate people land on the exact same wrong detail, independently, with total confidence. That's the best part that actually needs explanation. And to get there, we need to understand what memory actually is, because almost everyone gets that part wrong too. Most people imagine memory works like a video recording. You experience something, it gets saved, and later you press play and watch it back. If that were true, the Mandela Effect would make no sense at all. You'd either remember something correctly or not remember it. You wouldn't confidently misremember it in the exact same specific way as a stranger on the other side of the planet. So in 1974, a psychologist named Elizabeth Loftus set out to test what memory actually does. She showed people a video of a car accident, then asked questions about it. Some participants were asked how fast the cars were going when they hit each other. Others were asked how fast they were going when they smashed into each other. That one word was the only difference, and it changed everything. The smash group reported significantly higher speeds, while the hit group reported slower speeds. A week later, when asked if they'd seen broken glass at the scene, even though there wasn't any, the smashed group was far more likely to falsely remember seeing it. A single word had planted a detail that never existed, and their brains quietly built the rest of the scene around it. This told Loftus that memory wasn't just imperfect, it was actively constructive, filling in gaps with whatever fit best, without asking permission first. So she pushed the idea further. In 1995, she worked with families to build 4 short stories about each participant's childhood. 3 were true, and 1 was completely invented, describing the participant getting lost in a shopping mall as a child, crying, and being rescued by an elderly stranger. It never happened to any of them. And by the end of the study, around a quarter of participants believed the fake memory was real. Not just accepted it, believed it, the same way they believed their true memories. Some started adding details Loftus had never given them. The color of the stranger's jacket, which store they were standing near, how scared they felt. One man even argued with the researchers when they told him the memory was fabricated, and insisted he remembered it too clearly for that to be true. This is the same mechanism sitting underneath the Mandela Effect, just working at a smaller scale in a lab instead of across an entire population. Your brain doesn't store memories the way a hard drive stores a file. It stores something much smaller and much less exact. Something researchers Charles Brainerd and Valerie Arena call the gist. A rough summary of what an experience meant, stripped off most of its specific details. Those specific details fade fast, but the gist sticks around. And every time you try to remember something, your brain doesn't pull up the original footage. It rebuilds the scene from that gist, filling in plausible new details on the spot. Details that feel completely real, because they're built from real patterns in your own head. This is exactly what's happening in a simple memory experiment researchers still use today. Read someone a list of related words: bed, rest, tired, dream, snooze. The word sleep is never included, but ask people to recall the list afterward, and most of them will confidently include sleep anyway. Their brain filled the gist of the list with the most logical missing piece, and then handed that guess back to them, labeled as real memory, indistinguishable from the words that were actually there. Once you understand that memory works this way for one person in a lab, the Mandela Effect stops being mysterious and starts being predictable. Because we don't misremember randomly, we misremember in the direction of what makes the most sense. If a certain villain's whole aesthetic practically demands a monocle, thousands of separate brains will reconstruct the detail the exact same way, because the guess points every one of them towards the same plausible answer. If a country's shape doesn't quite match how people mentally picture it, thousands of people will drift towards the same wrong shape. These aren't coincidences or glitches in reality. They're proof that human memory reconstruction follows shared, predictable patterns, the same patterns playing out independently inside millions of different brains. And there's something happening right now that Loftus never had to account for back in 1974. Social media takes the same mechanism and speeds it up. When one person posts confidently about a false memory and hundreds of replies pile on agreeing, everyone reading that thread gets their own gist nudged in the same direction. The same way Loftus's mole story nudged her participants. You don't even need to have had the original false memory yourself. Reading enough people describe it with total confidence is often enough to generate a matching memory of your own, invented sensory details and all. Exactly like the participants who swore they remembered the color of the stranger's jacket that never existed. So here's what this actually means for the memory you are completely sure about right now. It doesn't mean it's fake. Most of what you remember is broadly accurate, but it does mean the confidence you feel isn't proving anything on its own. Loftus's participants felt just as certain about their fake mall memory as they did about the memories that were real. There's no internal alarm that goes off to warn you when a memory has been rebuilt instead of recalled. Certainty and accuracy were never the same thing, no matter how real something feels while you're standing inside the memory of it. Every memory you have has been rebuilt more times than you could ever count, quietly edited a little more with each pass, without your permission and without your knowledge. The version sitting inside your head right now isn't the original. It never was. It's just the most recent draft, and probably won't be the last one either.